So and when you do this, sometimes you have to critique or criticize people that you really like, people that you think could do a good job. Maybe they're not doing a good job, or whatever it is. Just remember, we were very critical of Gavin Newsom, his podcast, when he was not challenging people like Charlie Kirk and Steve Bannon. And so when the news came out about Pete Buttigieg getting 0% of the black vote, I thought that I would write something to explain why that might be happening and how he could improve it. So just so you know, before you come at me, this is something that is meant to be constructive criticism. Not everybody sees it that way, so you're free to do whatever you want. But this is on my Substack that I wrote about it, and it's called What Shall It Profit Pete? Meaning Pete Buttigieg, because he went from zero support from Mayo Pete. I don't know if you guys remember that, or from the previous campaign, from Mayo Pete to zero support. The brutal truth Pete Buttigieg's consultants won't tell him. And I write this because it's by me and also Peter Rothplatz on my team. I write this because I don't want him to make the same mistakes that Kamala Harris's team made in 2024. Back in 2019, as a Democratic primary was just warming up, Pete Buttigieg was given a name that he has never managed to escape, and that's Mayo Pete, like mayonnaise. It did not come from political Twitter or gay Twitter or pundits with blue checks. It came from Black Twitter. If you guys know Twitter, Black Twitter is a sharp, unruly, prophetic corner of the internet where a joke is never just a joke, but often a judgment. And from the very beginning, Black Twitter was not buying what Pete Buttigieg was selling for whatever reasons. You can go back and look. This is all true stuff, okay? Some saw the audacity of a small city mayor vaulting from the presidency as naked ambition. Others found his politics timid, his instincts managerial. Many saw his cultural whiteness, mayonnaise on white bread. And yes, some rejected him because he's gay. Some rejected him because he's gay. Not all of them. Some people, doesn't really matter to them. But the rejection was never only about prejudice. It was about suspicion, a sense born of history that this country makes promises that it will not keep. 6 years later, Pete Buttigieg is no longer the long shot mayor. He is the former Secretary of Transportation, loyal to Joe Biden, praised for his polish, applauded as one of the party's strongest messengers, and he really is. He's very good at messaging. He's very good at going into conservative spaces and injecting some facts and some reality. He can joust with Fox anchors, he can charm MSNBC hosts, and he can glide through the endless rotation of podcasts. In early polls for 2028, his name rises. But the insurgent with a spark of danger has become a secretary whose answers sounded scrubbed and staged. As I watched, and as many people watched, some of his answers sort of felt canned, as though every word had been pressed through consultants until there is nothing left but shine. Again, constructive criticism. That's how it seems. That shine hides a deeper problem for Pete Buttigieg. Again, in my opinion, okay, I'm just reading the tea leaves here. And just before you, again, I've been doing this since the 1990s. And so, I've been there. Old people be knowing, as I say. Pete's strategy is too safe, tone deaf. His advisors sent him to conservative and manosphere podcasts as if crossing into those spaces is still brave. It is not. I explain why, because those men do not live in a fact-based world. They will never vote for him. Most of them will never vote for him. They cannot sharpen him. On the other side, he gravitates towards Pod Save America, Love It or Leave It, and lily white liberal streamers with the patina of old school respectability. I'm not shading Pod Save America or Love It or Leave It. I'm just telling you about the places that he goes and that you see him most often, okay? Preaching to the choir may win polite applause, but it does not build the trust or the coalition he needs. Real courage would mean going where he can be tested. In progressive spaces, yes, but more importantly, in Black spaces, and not just the Breakfast Club, which is a consultant's checkbox. And again, that is not shade on the Breakfast Club. They've reached a level of importance where it has become a consultant's checkbox. Okay. But the niche Black streamers is where he should go. The community radio hosts, the pastors, the barbers, because that is where real trust is earned. And the numbers make plain just how urgent this is for Pete Buttigieg. Support comes from Brickhouse Nutrition and their best-selling weight loss formula, Lean. And right now, you don't want to miss this. Brickhouse's Labor Day sale just went live. For a few days only, you can save 25% on everything with code Labor Day 25. Look, fall is a perfect time to reset, get focused, and start feeling your best. And this sale is the best time to stock up. This includes Lean, the doctor-formulated weight loss supplement that helps turn excess fat into energy, reduces appetite, and curbs cravings without needles and without prescriptions. So, I'm a big believer in Brickhouse because I use their products. I will start with a Field Greens, which is my go-to fruit and veggie blend. And I can tell you my energy is better and I feel healthier. And your doctor will notice the difference, okay? That's real. And if you want more, favorites like Radiance and Collagen Booster and the new Brickhouse Whey Protein also are included in this. Everything is 25% off, but only for a few days. So don't wait. Head over to brickhousenutrition.com. Use the code LaborDay25 at checkout. That's brickhousenutrition.com, code LaborDay25. Take advantage of this Labor Day sale and start fall feeling your strongest and most confident yet. Support comes from Delete Me. It's the easiest, fastest way to protect your privacy online. Look, in 2025, your data is a commodity. Anyone can buy it. Your name, your home address, your phone number, even your family details, compiled and sold to the highest bidder. That's how identity theft, scams, and harassment happen. Now, I know this world all too well. Being in the public eye means that my personal information is always at risk. Anyone in the public eye, always at risk. You know, I've had people try to dig up information on me, and let me tell you, it is scary how much your life that can be found with just one search. So don't take any chances. Use Delete Me, okay? They'll scrub your data from the web so you stay safe. It is quick, it's easy, and right now you can try it at a discount. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan by texting DON to 64000. That's the only way to get this deal. Text DON, D-O-N, to 64000. Protect your privacy today with Delete Me. Message and data rates may apply. Emerson College's June 24 to 25, 2025 national poll, 0% of Black responders. Not a handful, not within the margin of error, but literally zero said that they would back him for the Democratic nomination. Zero. That's not a data point. It's an alarm bell. And guess what? Donald Trump has more Black support than Pete Buttigieg. That is an alarm bell. And here's the cost of avoiding that fire. Even among some of the most ardent early supporters, white, gay men, and trans people, I am hearing a new whisper of doubt. Okay, this is my unscientific survey because I'm out, as you guys know, talking to people all the time on the streets. You see it on social media. You see it also on YouTube. And you see it everywhere. You even see it on Substack. Okay, Pete has not helped himself. After his July 28 NPR interview where he said women's sports raise serious fairness issues and agreed that that worried parents have a case, he faced some backlash there. Whether it is warranted or not, he did face backlash. The following week, he addressed the criticism on his Substack Live, emphasizing a compassion, but reiterating the same fairness framing. To many, though, the issue is that it felt calibrated rather than courageous. It sounded like the safest line and not the truest line. Okay, that it's a safe one, and perhaps that's how he feels. There's a fairness issue there for him. I think folks in the LGBTQ community wanted something a little sharper from him and not so both sidesy. Okay. And Pete should take note. Gavin Newsom stumbled into that same both sides false equivalence posture, inviting MAGA bigots onto his podcast. Then he got roasted for it. Then he watched his approval ratings just dip. And we were very critical of him. And I told Gavin Newsom personally, like, what are you doing? But Newsom is a seasoned operator. He pivoted fast. He embraced the fight. He turned a misstep into a sharpening. The truth is, it is better to rally your base by naming a common enemy than to waste time just buttering them up. That's a true statement. If you rally the common enemy, that is how you're going to win. That's really the modern politics Trump 101. Newsom is finding support right now, even from people who dislike his policies, because at least he looks like a fighter, not a savior. Pete has not shown that instinct. He could, but he hasn't yet. A beard is not going to fix it. A clean shave, a perfect suit, or a beard to suggest edge does not matter. Growing facial hair does not make you bold. Ask JD Vance. Okay? Gimmicks are still gimmicks, and performance is poison. What black voters demand is not perfection, which all voters should demand is not perfection. But what black voters especially demand is not perfection. It is proof. Proof that a candidate can endure the storm America will unleash and still fight for them when the winds have torn everything else away. Barack Obama had to prove it in Iowa. Pete Buttigieg is not proving it anywhere. And I say this because, as I said, I like Pete. I believe one day he could make a great president. I really do. But he does not need to be perfect. That is the trap, his or his advisors. That's the trap. To present him as if he were created in a lab in a test tube marked sample gay president. America does not need that. It needs someone real, someone willing to risk, someone willing to tell the truth, someone with the personal and political instincts to not let his advisors overprotect him like the boy in the plastic bubble. That's from my generation, John Travolta. I don't know if you guys remember that. Advisors don't really become presidents, especially now. Consultant-driven candidates don't really become president, especially now. Risk takers do. Because the old question still stands, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the world, the whole world, and lose his soul? And in this case, what I'm writing here, what I wrote is that, what shall it profit Pete Buttigieg to sit with podcasters who will never vote for him, to polish himself for white liberals who already clap on cue, and to lose the trust of the very people who could carry him to the presidency? Skepticism from black voters is not prejudice. It is memory. It is a wisdom. It's wisdom. It is the scar tissue of a people who know better than to mistake polish for truth. And unless Pete can walk in that fire without handlers, without fear, without the mask of protection, Mayo Pete will not remain a relic of 2019. It will become the epitaph of a campaign that never dared to risk honesty, never dared to show its scars, never dared to be real. And one last final truth. No Democrat wins the presidency without significant black support. Not in the math, not in the map, not in the America we actually live in. So I hope Pete reads this and his advisors read this, because I don't want him to make the same mistakes as, not necessarily Kamala Harris made. If you want to use that, you can say that, but the folks who ran her campaign, the mistakes that they made. Run Pete Buttigieg as Pete Buttigieg, not as some consultant-driven automaton that sounds like he squeaks when he walks, like a robot. Same thing with Kamala Harris. Don't run her, but they did. They ran her as like she was a white woman trying to appeal to black people. She should have just run as a black woman who knew the community. I'm just saying. So you can find this if you want to read about it. You can read about it on my Substack. And also you can check it out. The Daily Beast picked it up for its op-ed as well. So read both of them, and I would love to hear what you think. Let me know in the comments. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.